How's it going? So, another week. I'm actually managing to do this on a weekly basis, which is impressive considering my track record of last term. So, yeah, right. What have I been up to before we get on to this week's main topic? I feel like it's been a bit of a crazy week. Yeah. So, yesterday I was in Coventry. Everybody telling me it's a total hole. I actually have to disagree. I know people don't think Coventry's amazing, and okay, shopping centre, a little bit to be desired. But I wasn't there to shop, I was there to meet up with my friend Pete, and as far as he's concerned, Coventry's great for him. I mean, we went looking around the old cathedral, different churches, went up to the canal basin, had a Nando's, had a coffee, and actually, like, for us, it was a great day. Like, you don't need shops and Starbucks and all of that to be able to have a good time. You can just spend time exploring the actual stuff going on in the town. So yeah, it was so much fun. Plus Fargo is amazing. If you ever go there, you have to go to Fargo, which is this tiny little independent market unit place. But it's just so colourful. Coventry's kind of grey and concretey, and Fargo was just colourful. So colourful. So yeah, that was really good. And resting this week, I spent a couple of hours on Wednesday in a cemetery. Exciting, I know. I can tell you're on the edge of your seat. But yeah, so we're doing a project on Ward's End Cemetery, which is out in Hillsborough. So we went to check that out, took a couple of photos, and yeah, so I'm now going to be spending some of my free time in a cemetery, which probably sounds strange to most people. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Otherwise, I've just been trying to get back into some kind of rhythm. I don't know if you find it, but after you've had maybe a break after exams like I've had, or if you work, you've been on holiday, or if you're a student, you've been on holiday, or you've been off sick, or something that's just kind of like breaking routine, you haven't got as much structure, all that kind of jazz. And like how you then have to go back to a structured routine, and it can be so difficult. I mean, come on. Bags under my eyes are a testament to the fact I haven't achieved it yet. So I wanted to spend a bit of time today just talking about the 9 to 5. The ideal working day. Can students achieve it? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Students at any level, postgrad, PhD, masters, or an undergrad, probably can't achieve it because, let's face it, you can work when you want, you can do what you want, so long as you get the work done. No one really cares when you're sleeping or when you're awake, and it's almost assumed that you're probably not waking up till 10, 11, 12 in the morning, afternoon if it's 12, and then you're probably not going to sleep till midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. However, the power of being a student means that you do choose your working hours. You can choose to work 9 to 5. However, it requires flexibility. So when I came back to uni, after 3 years of in the real world, 13 months of which was spent at Stonehenge. Yeah, that's not exactly a normal 9 to 5 job. When I've got to work Saturdays and Sundays, and in summer I could be working 12 till 8 or half 8 till half 4. Not exactly a standard structure. But then 20 months working in an office, effectively half 8 till 5, 9 to 5 days. I came back to university and it's like, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work 9 to 5 and I'm going to fit it all into those 8 hours and nothing's going to stop me. And then I discovered meetings for societies and clubs and people wanting to have brunch midweek and all these other things. And it turned out it was more difficult than I thought. If I wanted to be involved with Forge, I was probably going to have meetings during the week in my 9 to 5 working hours. If I wanted to catch up with a friend, that was probably going to involve coffee or brunch at 10, 11, 12, or even 3 o'clock, depending on the friend. And I quickly realised that working 9 to 5 was not as easy as it was when I was working. However, I still think it's doable with some flexibility. And my suggestion is that you take the 9 to 5 as an example and a guide, but you also take the 8 hours working day as a guide, as an aim. So if you think back, last week, 2 weeks ago, when I looked at staying on track, and I said about having like an aim. So if you're doing an essay, you've got a word count. Well, take 9 to 5 and take those 8 hours as your aim. You want to aim to work about 8 hours per day, at least. Sometimes as a student, you do have to work more, i.e. when you've got essays due in, dissertations due in, you're coming up to a deadline for a project, or you had a bit of a big night last night and you stayed up too late and you've got 5 hours of reading to do for the next day. Yeah, that kind of thing happens. But that was what I started doing, was I started taking that 8 hours as like my overall aim. So say I'm meeting a friend for coffee/lunch at 11 o'clock on campus. If I get to the library for 9, that gives me 2 hours. 9 till 11. Work for 2 hours. Meet my friends, say I have lunch and it takes 2 hours, so that takes me round to 1 o'clock. So I've got another 6 hours to fill. So you work till 7. And maybe say you have dinner during that time. You could either take a working dinner, which I don't think is sensible, but I know sometimes it happens. Or say you take an hour out. So you take an hour at 5, so you just work till 8. Finish at 8 o'clock, that gives you 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on your bedtime, in which to wind down. Now, obviously, the ideal, if you have an uninterrupted day, you're not doing anything, is 9 to 5 hours, exactly. Get to the library at 9, leave at 5. But even within those 8 hours, still allow yourself some flexibility. Take a 10-minute break every so often. When you have lunch, maybe put the laptop down, or even, shock horror, step outside for half an hour. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes you don't need to because you're in the flow. I've done that. I think I ended up doing like 9 till 6 in the library the entire time. And it was kind of crazy. But at the same time, I was in the flow. So that was okay. But sometimes, even if you know you got to get those 8 hours down, you still need to take like 10 minutes just to like move, step outside, go grab a coffee. Sometimes you might be lucky, like in our IC and in the Diamond actually, you've got cafes downstairs. Fantastic! Particularly if you can take your coffee back upstairs with you. But yeah, it's the 8 hours is kind of like what I feel people should be aiming for. But the ideal is 9 to 5. Like that, I feel is when a lot of people work at their best. Equally, you could be like me. And actually, 9 to 5 doesn't always work. Sometimes it does when I'm in the flow, but sometimes you also hit that mid-afternoon slump. So, you know, it's normally around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, and you start to fall asleep. It all happens. I, at one point when I was working, had to take naps during lunch in order to be able to actually make it through the afternoon. But that's the beauty of being a student. If you're hitting that 2 to 3, 4 o'clock slump, then take some time out, relax, go home, go grab a coffee, take an hour to recharge, and then maybe work a bit later. Find out when you work best. I know for me, I work best in the morning and in the evening. But the afternoon, I tend to be a little bit more useless. So yeah, you just need to figure out your balance and when works best for you. And that is my advice on how to take the 9 to 5 working day ideal as a student and apply it with a little bit of flexibility to your own life. So yeah. Anyway, I want to know how you do life as a student. What does your working day look like? If you want to comment below, go ahead. As always, if you want to find out what I'm doing at university, you can follow me on Twitter or on my academic blog. And if you want to find out what else I get up to in my spare time, you can check out my other blog at counterculturalcounterculture.com. And I'll see you later. Bye!